only do. I don't even know if it's gonna really sound like that on the audio, but you gotta do that beforehand.
Right, I feel you.
Um, I don't know. Sometimes, bro, I don't feel like starting off interviews so formally is
Mm-hmm.
always the best thing.
Yeah.
Conversations. I think we know each other like well to the point, especially in this entertainment world space and just outside of
Yeah.
this, just as men, to where like I don't have to do the whole interview like beginning like specific. You know how people be like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, nah, well, my name da 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 started off. Like I think the intros are important, but
Right, I feel you. And then I'm honestly, you just back in the land, bro.
yeah, man.
That's why we sitting down. You back in the land.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like introductions are important still.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just don't have to always start it off in the first 1 minute. But one thing I will say is, ladies and gentlemen, this is one-on-one with Jay Shep. This is really an RTR and TO conversation,
Yeah.
a connection that's been built over the past about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I will say about this guy right here is that he's consistent. He's an innovator. He's a creative. He's a creative's creative.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who can wear many hats. A guy who has been balancing at a young age entrepreneurship and
Yeah.
also being a musician.
Yeah.
A guy who's growing, and I think his name and just his staple out here in LA, but also making his rounds in New York, making his rounds in Houston, made his rounds in Austin, and just a guy that you'll be hearing about for not just the next 5 years, but 10, 15, and 20. More than just the music, even though the music is everything,
Yeah.
but just from his business acumen. This guy right here, UraelB, Mr. Craft to a T.
Everybody's favorite MC. Yeah.
And there we go, man. Man, just in general, before we start, how you doing today?
I'm great, bro. You know, life is lifing. I feel like, honestly, the past 2 years since I decided to really get back into music and working on my own and putting my own art out there, it's been crazy. Like, one of those things, you know, you hear people say, like, if you build it, they'll come. And, you know, once you jump off the ledge and do that leap of faith, like, you really don't know what's going to happen. So that's been the last 2 years for me. And really, honestly, since we last talked, a lot changed when it came to like my mindset, my actual like personal life, but also musically. Like, I just came through this musical growth spurt and been working so crazy to just show people like all the sides of me. Like, I get crazy lyrical, I get crazy on stage, but I also want to show people like I am your rapper's rapper. Like, I'm the favorite artist you could find when it comes to hip hop. Like, I do it all, you know. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But life has been good, bro.
Man,
Yeah.
that's a focus, and I think sometimes like with that, even just in general, in whatever profession or field, I feel like when you get in that level of like, how do I say this? It's not the rubber meets the road, which is the old saying for it,
Yeah.
but like you was like, okay, 2 years ago, I'm about to dive into this full time. I'm about to get into this full time. I'm
Yeah.
about to put my all into this. But some people bail out after like 6 months, a year,
Yeah.
year and a half. What's
Yeah.
been the driving force that has made you be consistent in just being like, I'm really doubling down on putting everything on me?
Bro, I don't know if you feel like this, but when it comes to music or something I'm passionate about, I don't see myself doing anything else. Like, it's the only thing I think about when I think of the future. I don't see anything else but this, or at least how far I want to get with it. And knowing that I'm already there at some point in the future, I'm going to be everything I want to be. I just got to keep working right now, and I got to keep putting the pieces together right now. It's always motivating me. Everybody around me, I feel like, for the most part, has that same vision of themselves. Like, they see themselves doing what they love for so long that nothing else matters. And everything else they do in life just going to add on to it. So, personally, I'm, of course, going to have a family. I'm going to live my life and build up things for me to leave a legacy for. But now is that groundwork. Now is that time for everything I want in the future to be laid and sown. So when it does come, it's like, man, I've been doing this forever. It was bound to happen, you know? And that's really my motivation, is just the idea that, like, my best version of myself is out there waiting for me to just make it all happen, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so funny about that because I feel like we eventually catch the best version of ourselves, then we already are on to the next version of ourselves that we want to catch.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think right now, especially in the time and the era that it is, the city that you're in and the time and the era really does matter. Because LA culture right now, when we talk about music, I was talking to some of the homies back home in Houston, and I said right now, West Coast music and that sound, the rhythm pattern, drum pattern, the beat, the
Mm-hmm.
bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I said that sound right now is leading cultures. It's leading in music. And so, and we don't have to get into why he's doing that. Everybody had their Kendrick and Drake talks, you know what I'm saying? But over the past year, have you noticed, like, okay, like, I know I got this, I got my sound, I got my vibe, but you know what? I might need to dive into this, like, a little bit more of, like, something that's already been homegrown into me.
Yeah, really, that's what my project is for. I knew when I wrote it and when I was starting to write it, like, I had to tell my story. So most of it was about me. I got to let people know who UraelB is from the very first day. You know, I feel like I could be conscious on earth. But knowing that, it was like, okay, what is UraelB then? If UraelB is being told, like, what helped shape him? LA was in there, like, in the background all the time. Like, I say LA helped raise me. And, of course, a lot of people say that. But genuinely speaking, I know I have a unique perspective on life because I'm black and I'm from where I'm from and I grew up in the time I grew up in. So I had to tell my story on my project in a way that I knew would be genuine and authentic, but also I knew other people could feel because it resonate and it sound like LA and it sound like, okay, I could tell these are his influences or this is where he was bred at and I could hear it in him. He putting on for us just like he putting on for himself or whoever else he represents. So the sound really was always in me. It was just a matter of like, how do I get myself to like bring it out now? I gotta create it. I gotta be artistic. I can't copy the people I heard do it before me. I gotta do it in my own way.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And also, I think a little bit too right now, even with that, like, it's just in general, like, on some real artist, real artiste stuff. Like, you want to tell your story. You want to make sure you get out to the world. But I also think a lot of people have a hard time doubling down on that with being true to themselves and true to their sound. Or true
that's facts.
To that. What is the hardest thing about that you think it is about getting very personable and vulnerable in your music and explaining that out?
To be fair, I know I create for myself, right? But the moment I put it out for the world to listen to, I gotta detach and know they're not gonna get it how I get it. They're not gonna feel it the way I feel it. And really, that's the deepest part is knowing I went through all this stuff I'm rapping about. I'm telling y'all from a place that really I didn't even like think about until I started writing it down and rapping it and then putting it in songs. And I'm like, dang, I ain't thought about a lot of this in a long time. So it being so personal and close to me made me realize that, yeah, at some point, either they gonna get it or they not. But is that gonna stop you from dropping? Is that gonna stop you from being who you are? It can't. It can't stop me. So a lot of my mentality has always been just be you. Like, not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna like what you're putting out. But as long as you love it and you are being real with yourself, unfortunately, whoever don't like it just is gonna have to miss out. And they could go find some other people. But the ones who do rock with me, the ones that flock because they know it's real and they know I'm speaking from the heart, those are the people I care to listen. And those are the people who I know they're gonna be around for the longevity of what I'm doing. And as long as I got them, we gonna go out far. So, yeah.
Nah, I get that. How long is your process when it comes to like making a project? And I feel like there's two, and I feel like that could go two ways. And I want both answers. On just let's just say, I just want some slaps.
Yeah.
That type of project, and then I'm getting vulnerable, and I'm telling you about a specific time, era, place, and time. Do you think it's a difference in those, and how long it takes you to make those tracks?
Yeah. So to be real, I feel like the first version, like, I know people gonna rock with this. I'm giving something for the people. This is what y'all gonna love and enjoy. That don't take long because I've done the work to like step out of myself and tap into what other people want. So like past 5 years since we've been locked in, that's what I've been grinding for. And when it came back to like doing my own project in 2023, I was like, okay, let me get out of that mode. Let me get out of like, what do other people want to hear mode? Because I was starting to work on that. That was one of my downfalls at a point. So now that I've done that, and I already knew how to like put my own work together and tell my story from my voice, I have this crazy balance of doing both. Like, it's weird. Now I could do either one. And honestly, depending on the producer I'm working with, I know what I'm going to feel from that song. Like, if it's speaking to me in a way where I got to tell something like important, then in the studio, I'm already know, okay, I'm going to save this, take my time with it. It's going to be built out to something else. But if it make me move or it make me rock like immediately and I know, oh, okay, this can make other people feel like this, I got a song right there. Okay. So like with my song I did a couple years ago with my homie Bobby, we got it in Bel Air. We got it placed in Bel Air. And that was one of those songs where I genuinely just knew from the moment he was starting to produce it, it's it. All right, everybody gonna rock with this. And then eventually it got put on TV, and now everybody's like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I knew he had this certain style, but now him doing this, it's like a whole different bag and a whole different like group of people starting to realize like I got different avenues I could take it. So my process really depends on like the inspiration I'm getting at the time. But it don't take me long to put out a slap, or it don't take me long to create it. It take me long realizing like, all right, when is the time? Or when are people gonna actually like connect with this? Because sometimes I've been in a space where I'm so far ahead of myself that I know other people really won't get it if I can't even get it right now, but I'm thinking about it. So sometimes I've had to like slow down, give myself time to really work on my craft, and then figure out, all right, now that I know what I want, how do I make sure I get this to the people in the right way? Because you can't just drop a song or put it out and hope everybody come. You do got to deliver it in the best way possible too. So
I think that can be with anything. Like, I'm gonna be real, a lot of things right now, especially music wise. But let's just I'm gonna be a little messy. Let's go business and let's just go anything wise. A lot of stuff is fast food. Nothing wrong with fast food, but it serves a purpose. Quick fix. I need it again. I need to get fed again. I need to get fed again. But like when you're taking your time to really like, okay, let me get this ingredient here, get this ingredient here. Let me lay this plate out this way. Let me get this, put this napkin right here this way. And like I'm using this analogy in the sense of music wise, which seems like what you're talking about. It's like, yo, I gotta make sure I put all my pieces together the right way before I put it out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think even with that, there is a good way to like, for lack of better words, do fast food music. Like there's a good way to do it. Some people just be chasing the way it feels or the clout or the fame behind it versus chasing that formula like, oh, I know how to give people what they want like quick and like make it good. Because after a while, some people do the same thing over and over again, then it gets stale or we get tired of it. So that's how you know they coming from a weird place with it. And even on the other side where you got the home cooked music and you really taking your time with some people stay in that way too long and like paralyze themselves from like analyzing it too much and putting themselves like in a weird space where they're trying to be a perfectionist sometimes. And I fell victim to that in a way, but I always knew like I'm gonna keep getting better even if I don't feel it's perfect right now. The whole point of me getting better is so I can like be better than what I'm doing right now. So I think a lot of people get stuck in that I'm trying to be perfect thing, but also I'm just trying to make the quick buck or like get the quick little 15 minutes of fame too. So it's weird, like really as an artist or anybody creating, like you gotta remember to put yourself first. And if you wouldn't eat it or you don't digest it, like don't do it. Really. Like I feel like that's the other problem people have is making music or doing something creative too much for other people. Sometimes you do gotta be selfish with it and realize like, yeah, it's coming out of me, so I gotta be the most important person in this formula.
No, I feel that about to say no. Do you think there is a thing called the perfect track?
That's crazy because even if it was the perfect track, somebody gonna find something wrong with it. So I think, and this happened to me recently. It's not that I thought it was a perfect song, but like a song I just made, I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I wanted it to be. That don't mean perfect, but from the moment I thought about the song, we went in the studio and created it, and then finishing the like mixing and mastering on it, I'm like, this is what I wanted it to be. Played it for some people, and they loved it, but they always like still found something else that they weren't satisfied about it. I'm like, okay, I'll let that get to me sometimes because I want other people to enjoy it the way I do. But unfortunately, there is no perfect track. Like different stuff flow, different people boat, and you gotta remember that in creating. But you also gotta like aim to still try to be perfect all the time too. That's what I do. I feel like there's no reason to not try to shoot for the stars. You can shoot, you know, for whatever you feel like is gonna be resonating with people at the time, but at some point, if you're not getting better or reaching perfect or trying to get as close to perfect as possible, then you are just turning your wheels, kind of wasting your time.
And I think perfect could be a feel. Like perfect could be a feel to you.
Yeah,
you know
that's true.
Like, and I think that's the thing. Sometimes in the creative spaces, like even with these interviews, it's like back in the gap, there might be a handful of interviews. I'll be like, yo, that was perfect in my brain. Yeah, and I've put out about over 100 like beforehand, and you know took the break. But it always feels like people chase perfection, and as artists, it's always like, oh, that sound, what is it? And you might think you got it, like in your case, like, oh, I got it, job done. Everybody else got something to say about it. But even at that point, like you said, once you've done, To me, it's just perfect. I gave it out to the world. However the world takes it, it is what it is.
Exactly, yeah. And I had to learn that too. At some point, it is about like that balance of creativity, but also like sharing and offering your stuff to the world. You can create for yourself, but you might as well keep it on your laptop, you know,
Right.
keep it on a private SoundCloud link or something, because if it's just for you, nobody else needs to hear it. You could be happy with it, but the moment you do want to put it out to people, you gotta let go. It's like I ain't got kids, but it's like probably having kids and realizing they gonna be their own people one day.
Right.
Your songs gonna have their own experience with a person you ain't never met. So
Right.
you just gotta be okay with that and live with that. But know like it came from somewhere that was real for you. You know.
True. And
Yeah.
one thing I thought about asking actually like beforehand, before we even started, was the difference between like trying to make a song that gets to the charts and making music like that can get on television, that can get on shows. Because I think that sometimes, and this is my perspective, and as an artist I would love your perspective on this, I feel like a lot of people chase the fame, the celebrity, and what the masses say is successful, Billboard and all that.
Yeah.
But also too, people don't understand with music, which I've learned through you. You've had placements in movies. You've had placements on TV. And your music can go far in that lane as well. But a lot of people won't look at that or deem that as your music is successful, even though a check and just like your music getting put out there to the world is successful.
Facts.
What do you think about that?
Honestly, shout out to the homegirl Tia. That's one of the coldest like writers, creators, producers, musicians I know from LA. She from Inglewood too. And just being around her, working with her, and even working with her manager, I realized that fame is so fickle that you can't even like bank on it when you really are trying to make it somewhere. Like fame is just residual like effect of you doing that good. Like if you really have a popping song and it's popular, people love it, and they ain't really gotta like talk. You ain't gotta talk about it much, and they talking about it for you. That's gonna do all the fame and selling it for you need. But putting yourself in the best position to like actually maximize your song, that's something I watched her do, and that's something I've been emulating myself because. Yeah, it's got to go further than just this 15 minutes. People thought it was viral and cool, and like they wanted to like it right now because they going to hear something else tomorrow or in 2 weeks, and they going to forget about it. So you do got to set yourself up and set your music and your creations up so that they live beyond you. And one of those things I've been working on is taking my time, not only with the creation of the music, but like with the promotion of the music too. Because I could put a song out and feel like, oh, this is the perfect time. But then if I only do it or promote it for like 6 months, it's still plenty of people who probably haven't heard it. So I got to keep rolling it out, making sure it get as far as possible. So that way I get momentum into the next thing. Some people don't really see it like that. So I think that's why they get caught up in the game of fame and they get caught up in a position of trying to see if it's worth it or not before they even put it out there. Like some people will test their songs and that's good, but they'll stop themselves before they really get going with something just because, oh, not enough people liked it right away.
You're a talented one.